Hi, Gayle. I think I have everything put together for your apartment application. Great. Wow, I still can't believe how much paperwork I had to send you to apply for this place. Back home in Indiana, it was so much easier to rent an apartment. Yeah, I do hear that quite a bit. New York City really has its own unique real estate market. Landlords need to be extremely picky of who they rent to, within the law, of course. Since it's so hard to evict a tenant in New York City, landlords need to make sure in the beginning of the tenancy that they've done their due diligence. That's why I needed the 4 weeks of pay stubs or offer letter from your new employer, a recent credit check, recommendations from your past landlords. In fact, if you were making just a little bit less money, I would also have had to ask you for a guarantor. Wow, it really is a lot, but you got everything you need, right? Yes, you now have a really strong application. Now all that is left is for you to have a chat with the landlord. She has her own set of rules that she will have you sign a contract about once she approves your application. What sort of rules? There are always some rules you need to follow in historic buildings like this one. Things pertaining to taking care of the plumbing system, not being allowed to paint any of the wood finishes, and other basic requirements like the pet policy, trash collection, snow removal. Oh, right, I need to assist with that. Yes, this is a small building with only 2 tenants, and you have a private front door entrance, so you need to take care of that yourself. Okay, well, I'm sure I can handle that. And you mentioned the pet policy, but we have already made sure she knows I have a cat, right? Yes, the contract will say that you are permitted the 1 cat, but that you can't get any more. Okay, and will it also talk about the broker's fee? No, the broker's fee is purely between you and my office. You will pay it at the lease sign-in, and then I will hand over the keys. I still can't get over how much it is. $5,000? $5,040 to be precise, yes. It's the standard 15% of the year's rent fee that we charge everyone. And I'm sorry to ask again, but why is that exactly? I mean, you're doing all this work for the landlord, right? Yes, technically that is correct. I am working on the landlord's behalf to secure them a strong applicant. And I agree with you. I wish the landlords would just pay our fee. It would make my job so much easier. I hate telling people the cost of getting a place. Believe me, on top of that first month's rent and security deposit, we know it's a lot. But the New York City rental market is extremely competitive. We get tons of interest on each apartment we list. So therefore, landlords are able to just pass on that cost to the tenants. I guess if the market were to change, then the policy might change. But right now, in 2014, that's the way things work. Yes, I did my research before moving. I knew to expect that. But it still stings. And what guarantees do I get for that? Guarantees? Yes, like, does it mean that the landlord can't raise my rent or kick me out? Unfortunately, we can only guarantee your rent amount for the length of your lease. So in your case, 1 year at $2,800 per month. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Getting a new tenant moved in can be a process that most landlords do not enjoy. As long as you are a good tenant and follow the rules, a landlord should want you to stay a long time. And that means not raising my rent? Right. Now, it's not a guarantee, because the market can change year to year. So there's no law preventing her from hiking it up? No, laws like that only protect rent-stabilized buildings. But you aren't going to get an apartment like this in a building like that. Yes, I do love this place. It's stunning, really. The best place I've seen. I know I'm lucky to get it. So, can I set this meeting up for you and the landlord? She may just want a phone call or text exchange. Sure, absolutely. Let's move ahead. Hello, is this Gayle? Yes, hello, is that Robin? It's nice to talk to you. I have to let you know, I absolutely adore the apartment. It's exactly what I was hoping for. I'm so excited I got it. Well, you haven't gotten it yet, dear. But you do have a strong application. and the agent assures me that you are the type of tenant I look for. So you do understand that you can only keep the one cat as a pet, correct? Yes, of course. I don't plan on getting any others. And if you look at the contract, you will see that you are responsible for any of the damage caused by the cat. The parquet floors in your apartment are original to the home, and cat urine can destroy that type of flooring. Oh, I assure you, she's very well trained, never had one accident. I've reviewed everything in the contract, and I'm happy to sign it. It all seems very reasonable. Are you sure you don't have any questions? You will see that you are forbidden from making any changes to the apartment. That includes any changes to the locks or doors. And that's safe? Certainly. The only people who have access to the building are myself and my tenants. And as long as you make sure that you keep both the front door and door by the stairwell locked, you should have no issues at all. Well, I have no reason to use that door by the stairwell anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yes, your apartment has been updated with laundry and has plenty of storage. There's no need for you to ever enter the basement. Okay, got it. Well, I feel good about everything here. I will have Simone draw up the lease and we can sign it this week. Yes. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Hi, Robin. I was hoping we could talk about what happened today. And what is that? The fact that I came home to find you in my apartment. You didn't let me know you were coming. I needed to access your unit so my service person could look at the thermostat in your apartment. Yes, like you said, and that's fine, but I would prefer to be home when you come into my apartment. It is my building, dear. I can come and go as I please. But not into my unit, you can't. I checked the lease. It said that you must give me 24 hours notice, except in case of emergency. In my 25 years of renting that unit, I have never once had a tenant complain about me trying to service the building. You like having heat, don't you? Yes, of course. I'm just very uncomfortable with a strange person being in my home when I'm not there. May I ask, is this the first time this has happened? Because I have noticed that sometimes when I come home, my things seem to be out of place. Out of place? I am sure I have no idea what you mean. Yes, I've noticed that some of the items in my kitchen have been moved around, as well as in my bathroom. Well, if you are referring to the copious amounts of empty liquor bottles you leave lying about. Copious? I had a lot of empties one time, after I had some friends over for my birthday. I didn't realize you would be one for throwing wild parties. It's unseemly for an unmarried girl such as yourself. So you're saying that you have come in before. What was your reason that time? The neighbor upstairs was complaining of a wretched smell. I only assumed it must be your cat's litter box. So I came in and scooped it. It was quite full and filthy. I scoop that box every day. I can't imagine it could have been that bad. And the food you leave in your fridge for days at a time. So much takeout. Ugh, so unhealthy. Now you are going through my fridge? What I eat is really none of your business. I have a right as the owner of the building to ensure that my property is being cared for properly, and that my tenants are adhering to the letter of our contract. I have been adhering to that contract. I take good care of this place. I've shoveled the snow and followed all the house rules, and I pay my rent on time every month, don't I? Yeah, so far you do. Well, I intend to continue doing that. But really, Robin, I am going to have to insist that you stop letting yourself into my unit unannounced. If you keep letting yourself in, I am going to have to get a new lock for the door. My dear. The contract specifically states that new locks are not to be installed. But very well. Though I have never had a tenant be so unappreciative about my attention to detail. I promise to give you notice before coming into your unit, provided it's not an emergency, of course. Simone, do you have time to chat today? Of course. What can I do for you, Gayle? Well, I'm having a really difficult time at the apartment. You're kidding! What's going on? Robin, the landlady, she keeps coming into my place, unannounced. What? You're kidding me. Oh, she must be doing repairs or something. No repairs are going on. A few months ago, she admitted to me that she had been letting herself in and snooping around my stuff. She admitted it? Oh boy, did she have a reason? Not a very good one, no. One time she said it was because my cat's litter smelled bad. Another time she needed to access the thermostat. Simone, I have to ask, did you know she was like this? Does she have a history of snooping on her tenants? No, oh my god, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Well, when is the last time this place has been vacant? The last time? Well, I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to check out old files. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take. I feel like I have no privacy. I think she's using my beauty products. The other day, I came home to a made bed, but I didn't make it that morning. The things in my kitchen get moved around. I think she used the last of my milk. It's crazy. Oh, wow, that really is insane. How can you be sure it's her? Who else has a key? Your office doesn't keep one, do they? No, we give it back once the unit is rented, and I am the only agent who had access to it. So, what other explanation is there? I'm not sure what to do. Well, you could always look for a new apartment. I'm happy to help you. You only have a few more months left on this lease. I absolutely hate the idea of moving again. And I love the place so much. But if it came to that, and I had no choice but to move, you would help me? Of course, I'd be happy to. And does that mean you wouldn't charge me the broker's fee? Oh, Gayle, I'm sorry. I couldn't do that. I mean, maybe I could give you a small discount on it? It's up to my boss. But you rented me a place with a crazy landlady, and I've only lived here 1 year. But our office didn't know she was crazy, if she is. And lots of people move year to year. It's New York. So you're telling me that if I don't want to put up with her craziness, I have no choice but to move? I'm afraid so. It's not like the police are going to care about some old landlady coming into her own building. She's not threatening you or anything. No, she's not. But it's still not right. What if I got a lawyer? To do what? You would spend a small fortune, and what would you get out of her? As long as you're continuing to live there, you owe her the rent. Seriously, this is just one of those wacky New York stories you always hear about. But you know what? I have a brand new building opening up soon. I have a unit with a rooftop terrace that I bet you'll love. Ugh, let me think about it. Maybe I can suck it up and deal with her craziness, as long as it doesn't get worse. Okay, well, you let me know. I am always here for you. Okay, well, it's gotten worse. What? No way. What's going on? Well, since the last time you and I spoke, almost immediately she cranked the crazy up a notch. First of all, she's completely turned the heat off. My thermostat says it's 70 in my apartment, but I am sleeping with mittens on. And when I complain about it, she tells me that her service person says the furnace is working fine. Oh, wow, that's awful. You poor thing. It's been cold this month. And she is very obviously still coming into my apartment when I am not home. She doesn't even bother trying to cover her tracks. She moves my things around. She changes the settings on my TV. I'm pretty sure she was trying to figure out the password on my laptop. And I think she threw away my asthma inhaler. I found it in the trash can. What? Oh, that's not right. And today, when I came home, my cat was going nuts, leading me all over the apartment. She brought me to the back door by the stairwell. I have never opened that door as long as I have lived here. Robin had moved the cat's litter box into the outside hallway. My cat couldn't reach it all day. It was like she was daring my cat to pee on the wood floors. Gayle, we need to get you out of there, sweetie. So you do agree she's crazy, right? Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. And it's just one of those wacky New York stories? Yes. Oh, I am so sorry this was your first experience here. But we will get you into a better place for you. I promise. And I have already asked my boss, and I am so excited to tell you that we can offer you a discount on your next broker's fee. Aw, thank you. I am so glad to hear that you're in my corner, Simone. It's such a relief to know that I have an honest real estate professional in my court. Oh, of course, honey. I will find you a place where you could be happy for years. That's great. So, can we talk about what I'm looking for in my next place? Yes, let's do that right now. Okay, well, this time around, can you find me a place that isn't owned by your mom? Huh? Did you honestly think I wouldn't find out? Well, I guess you did. Because apparently you've been pulling this scam for over 10 years. I don't know what you're talking about. You would be amazed to find out what a person can discover with a quick trip to City Hall, including the history of tenants at this address. There's been a new tenant every year for going on 12 years now, right about the same time you got your real estate license. You have this all wrong. It's New York. People move a lot here. Sure, I remember you telling me that, but every year for 12 years? That's a bit much. I also remember you telling me how it's so difficult to evict a tenant in New York City. But if a tenant chooses to move, well, that's just another astronomical broker's fee you can collect from an unsuspecting newbie to New York. In fact, I looked up the past 3 tenants of this apartment. Every one of them was a single woman from out of state, new to New York City. Oh, that's just a coincidence. Is it? Because I've spoken to every one of them. You have? Sure. A quick Facebook search. I mean, it wasn't that hard. And lo and behold, each one of them couldn't believe what a crazy landlady Robin was. How it all started about 6 months into their tenancy. And by the time they hit the 9th or 10th month, they were asking their real estate agent, Simone, to find them a new place. And how she told them that this was just one of those wacky New York City stories. I rent so many apartments to so many people. I can't possibly remember every story every tenant tells me. But you are legally obligated to tell them that the landlord is your mother, aren't you? It took me about 1 hour at the Hall of Records to discover that you actually grew up in that house. My mother is allowed to give me a real estate listing. That doesn't mean I knew she was acting weird. Maybe she's starting to mentally decline. You should really be more sensitive throwing words around like crazy. But I tell you what, to make up for your inconvenience and any misunderstandings, how about this? I will move you into a new place and not charge you a fee. How does that sound? And are you also going to pay for my expenses to pack up this place and move? Oh, well, I can't be expected to pay for that. Oh, but you can. According to my lawyer, you're going to pay for that and a whole lot more. A lawyer? You got a lawyer? I sure did. If it was just about me, their office wouldn't have been too interested. But the fact that I could hand them the name and contact of the past 3 tenants before me, who all had the same experience that I did, they scooped up my case pretty quickly. They are looking up the other past tenants as we speak. All of them. Of course. We're talking about a lot of money here. Broker's fees, moving costs, pain and suffering. It adds up to quite a bit. Especially when you consider treble damages. Do you know about treble damages? Of course you do. You would have learned all about it in real estate school. It means whatever damage you caused me and all of the other tenants, you owe us triple what you cost us. Wait, can we back up a step here? You love the apartment, right? What if I talk to my mom and tell her to cool it with the antics? You could stay in your awesome apartment. No need to move. Save yourself all that aggravation. Nope, I've already made up my mind, Simone. I am moving on, just like your real estate license is about to. I moved out shortly after that, into a newer building just down the street that was owned by an LLC and not a crazy landlord. The new place didn't have the charm I was looking for, but I found it with an honest agent who was horrified when I told him my story. He said it was dishonest people like Simone who gave his profession a bad name. I believe it. He was a good guy who found me a great place that I stayed in for years. His office even helped me when I wanted to buy my first condo. The money I won in that settlement was a big chunk of my down payment. It's no longer legal in New York City to charge a broker's fee to an incoming tenant in a rental. Landlords need to pay the fee to the agents, or do the grunt work of finding a tenant themselves. But plenty of New Yorkers also have similar tales of paying insane fees to find their first apartments. And I, of course, will always have my very own wacky New York story. Have a real estate horror story of your own? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more true text stories.